did you go black? I'm
What
not
do you
laughing.
mean? Why
I'm
did you?
serious.
Why do you?
I feel like
That's
okay.
a very that's. I don't even know if that's a question.
That's 100% a question.
Why don't you ask me why? Why did you go? Why did you go? Like why?
Yeah, that's
like,
what that's. I mean, like we live in the Bay Area, right? And I feel like,
So we're not gonna talk about dating. And
I'm not talking about dating. I'm talking
really?
about your marriage.
Oh really?
And I'm just talking about your choices. I know I sound like I'm kidding, but I'm being serious. Excuse me, serious because one, it's something that we don't see very often, and I just want to talk about your experience with it. Right? You are married to a black person, and you and I both know that here in the Bay Area, there's kind of two couples that you see as it pertains to Asian people. There's Asian on Asian, and then there's white on Asian. Right?
Yeah.
And the white on Asian that we see is heavily skewed Asian women, white men. Right? Asian women love white men like fat kids love cake.
That's not fair. I'd argue the white guys just like Asian chicks.
But it's a two-way street.
But the way you
Fine,
you
fair.
made it,
My
it sound like
bad.
the Asian girls go after all the hot white guys here in Bay
Sorry,
Area.
my bad. White men love Asian women.
Yes.
He.
Yes. I'm pretty sure there is a like OkCupid or whatever thing saying like the most popular girls.
It's white men and Asian women.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
But why? Like I know we talk that I jest a lot, but why did you decide to go black?
I didn't decide. You made it sound like I just went outside to be like, oh, you black, let's go on a date. You black, let's go on a date.
I mean, the fact of the matter
It's
is,
like I wouldn't go like hunting black guys. It just worked out. It happened. I met him. He was a genuinely nice guy, and we were friends for a while before we started being more romantic. It just sort of happens, not something like I purposely like planned.
when you started getting romantic, did you think about it though?
I did, but I also felt like it does not matter to me as much like what the color of his skin looks.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that you are not because I think what I'm trying to get at is, like I said before, it's not common, right? And I'm not saying that, I don't want anyone to have the misinterpretation that I'm not for it, right?
Not.
I am for it. Stop playing with me.
No,
Stop.
you're not.
No, don't do that to me.
Everybody's lying.
No, I'm not lying. I'm not for it. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not for it, but I think it's, for me, I always say this to you, is it means a lot to me. Because, I'm not joking. I don't know why everyone thinks I'm like joking. It does mean a lot to me because it means that you saw Mikael for who he was, right? Not what he looked like.
No,
And-
well, also, I mean, he's a cute guy.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You saw past all the things that people say about people like us, right? And I'm particularly curious because historically, I feel as though Asian and African American, or just African or black people, let's just put a broad stroke on it, the relationships, you don't see those relationships common because there is, I don't want to say there's animosity. In my experience, I feel as though Asian people look down on African Americans, and I don't know if that's just in my experience. So it is, I'm thinking about it, and it's weird, and this, you never asked me to do this, but I'm thinking about it kind of for you, right? And saying like, you're a strong person for doing what you did, and it's not like you did anything. And it's weird. It's not like you did anything spectacular or marvelous, but you know that there are people out there who are upset by it, right? And you don't think about that, but I think what you do is you help other people who maybe want to do it say, oh, Claire did it, I can do it too.
I mean, it's really not that deep and complicated. It's really, I
don't-
have a feeling about this person, and I feel safe, I feel secure, and he's nice to me, and he was a mature guy, and he was consistent, and I don't have to guess. There's no game, and I went for it. It was not that deep. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like set example for all these Asian girls after me. No, there's really has it's not. That's not.
I know that you didn't go in thinking that, and maybe this is just me and how I think about things, but I do want to say, at least from my perspective, that's the beauty of it, where you went in thinking one focus, which is I want to be happy and I don't care who I'm happy with. But I think so many people are caught up in what others will think about them, right? Because think about how many times there has been maybe a little white girl, a little black girl, a little Asian girl who has liked someone who wasn't of their race, and they felt as though society would put pressure on them, right? Rather than going for what they wanted, right? So I commend you for going after you wanted, as opposed to thinking about what other people wanted for you.